over a 30-year period. So your 30-year period, oh, he's young. 30-year period. Total interest that he will pay is $132,252 over the 30-year period. His counterpart, with a 7%, Mr. Speaker, will pay $558,036. I tell you, numbers doesn't joke. It's there 2%, 6 months, I mean, okay, yeah. But here is the real impact, Mr. Speaker. Here is the real impact on people, Mr. Speaker. So he can build his house, he can buy some groceries, and he can send his child to school. And so building will not be a burden and an impossibility, Mr. Speaker. And so the monthly savings, that's money we're keeping in his pocket every month, Mr. Speaker, is $1,183. $1,183 monthly savings, Mr. Speaker. There's nothing that can beat assisting people with the cost of living than those kinds of savings, Mr. Speaker. And the total savings on interest over the 30-year period is $425,784. That is money we keep in his pocket over a 30-year period. Had he taken the loan at 7%, he would not have that, Mr. Speaker. So when people say, what's Carrot and Labour Party doing? These are the kinds of life-changing, positive impacts on families and individuals, and in that case, police and public officers, Mr. Speaker, we are. And if you go to a 300K, 300,000 at 30 years, monthly payment, $1,109 for a 2%. A 7% is $1,996. Total interest on the 2%, $99,189. Total interest on the 7% is $418,527. Monthly savings, $887. Total savings on interest over the 30-year period is $319,338. You know what I'm saying? Somebody told me, Mr. Speaker, the best economist is a housewife. That's what they told me, Mr. Speaker. And if you go to, I'll give you a 20-year, because some people, because of their age, may have to do a 20-year plan. So $300,000, Mr. Speaker, and I'll go to 9%. So you take a loan of $300,000 over a 20-year period. On the 9%, your monthly payment will be $2,699. That's 9%. On the 2% is $1,518. Total interest on the 9% is $347,803. And total interest on that 20-year mortgage of $300,000 at 2% is $64,236. Over the 20-year period of the loan, Mr. Speaker, the public servant is saving over $283,000 in interest. This is the kind of policies. So they're not policies, Mr. Speaker, that you wake up one morning, you just know. These are clearly thought of policies. But these are policies, Mr. Speaker, that come out of the minds of the Dominican people. We meet people, Mr. Speaker. They tell us what their dreams and aspirations are. They tell us what the challenges are. And so, yes, some people say, well, Scary, you should not give people a house for free. I accept that. I think we need to look next year, after we hand over those homes in December, to see how much people should pay something on the homes. I accept that. But there is also good reason why we are spending money on housing. Because we have to address within our society social injustice. We have to ensure that we can close the gap between those who do not have and those who have. We have a duty to those who cannot afford. And likewise, we have a duty to the public officers and police officers and the private sector people who, for one reason or the other, based on their take-home payment, will be able to have a mortgage. But by facilitating them in that way, Mr. Speaker, you're getting them the opportunity to live dignified lives by being able to build a home and call it home. Nothing beats that kind of feeling when you can open your house and go in your house, Mr. Speaker. And we have to, as a nation, we must never be grudgeful of anybody who has benefited. We must, as a nation, ensure that we continue to work to facilitate one way or the other of people owning their homes. And we could talk about the lands that we've sold and we're selling at highly concessionary rates. Next door to government land, people are buying lots at $12 a square foot. The government land is better, more access because we have roads, we have water, we have light. $5, $5.10, $7. And you know, if you buy a lot at 9,000 square feet and you save $1 on it, Mr. Speaker, you can do the maths. Far more for if you save $3, $5 and $10, you can do the difference. That's your foundation we're giving you. That's your roof we're giving you. That's all your doors and your tiles we're giving you. This is what we're doing. And so I want to get this. The other point I want to raise, Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, sir, is on the issue of education. Education. And the housing program is called OK2HP. You tell some people love that thing too, Mr. Speaker. This thing is the most popular term in normally called OK2HP. Yes, boy. Boy. You know what I mean? People love that thing, Mr. Speaker. I can say, boy, let me go see that OK2HP there, boy, because I want my house. That's the kind of language Dominicans stuck in these days. They're the most popular stuff. Education reform, Mr. Speaker. I believe it's important that we continue on this path of reforming education, to reposition our education system to better provide for our children and to better prepare the country for taking advantage of the opportunities. And I'm happy that we're starting the process. Obviously, it's a journey. But we believe, Mr. Speaker, that in an era where everyone has access to information, our system should not be preoccupied with a knowledge-based performance system. Because you can type in anything and get information. What we need to build among our children and our society is people with analytical skills, critical thinking, collaboration, cooperation, empathy, their commitment to family and their responsibility to their family, their responsibilities to the environment, entrepreneurial skills to be able to come out of school and to use what you have learned to make money for yourself, to see the opportunity where others don't see them, to position yourself. So we're not saying that we have not made tremendous progress and success in our education system. But after a while, everything has to be relooked, and this is what we're seeking to do in there. And also, Mr. Speaker, with the State College. We created the State College in 2002. By the time when it came to government, 7 out of 100 students who studied the CXC had access to the college. 7 out of 100. Because of the government's consolidation of the colleges and putting policies in place to enhance access to college, 100% today. And what I start at the graduation, And I remember some years ago, Mr. Speaker, there was a lady who worked in the government system. She must have been in her late 40s, early 50s. And she's the Prime Minister. I always wanted to be a nurse all my life, but I never got the opportunity. And she left the public service at that age and went and studied at the State College and became a nurse. I saw a gentleman, Mr. Greenaway. Greenaway must be in his 50s, maybe 56, thereabout. He should be older than me, I hope. He graduated with an associate degree. He graduated with an associate degree, Mr. Speaker. And if this is not progress, then I don't know what it is. We have caused people in Dominica, irrespective of their age, irrespective of their economic circumstance, irrespective of social standing, to be able to say, I want to go to school. And there are opportunities created and facilitated by this government. And I challenge anybody in Dominica who has a degree today, check the date you got it. And you will see that the majority of you got help from the government. The few of you who didn't, you were motivated by the government. Boy, scary to talk about university, but let me go and see what happened in there, boy. And you go and you apply and you go to school. And your parents will tell you, you hear the government saying, you hear the government telling you go and study. You hear the government saying that's what they say. So they teach parents. That's what we've done. When we came into government, Mr. Speaker, there was no teacher in the entire Commonwealth of Dominica at the primary school level with a university degree, or even an associate degree, Mr. Speaker. Those who went and did the degree, for it came back and sent to high school, to secondary school to teach. And I said, no, that cannot happen. Primary school is one of the most important levels of the education system. No, let's keep them there and pay them the same salaries, Mr. Speaker. And all of a sudden, Mr. Speaker, based on the government's policy initiative and facilitation, the primary schools are having an impact on the climatic conditions of Dominica. Too many degrees in primary school. People have degrees. Degrees, Mr. Speaker. Because this government decided to change the policy consideration of the country and to say that we need, if you go and study, you should stay in the primary school system. And that's what we end up. And at the secondary school is 1-2-1-2 what a degree. 1-2-1-2. Today, I believe maybe everybody, if not all people at the secondary school, maybe 90% at the secondary schools have degrees. Have degrees. That's what we have done, Mr. Speaker. And so, to further facilitate our students access higher education and to ensure that they prepare themselves for the economy that we're building for them with the opportunities that are available and those to come, Mr. Speaker, we are putting $2 million at the aid bank at 2%. So you have technical skills, you want to go and do engineering, surveying, plumbing, arc welding, you want to get a certificate, you can get the money from that. And let me give you a situation, Mr. Speaker, of what that will translate to in terms of benefit to the young person. Now let me give it to you. If you take a loan of $200,000, student loan, and with a repayment term of 10 years, the monthly payment is $1,840 compared to 8% which currently exists at the banks in Dominica. You will pay $2,427. Total interest over the 10-year period at 2%, $20,842. And total interest at 8% for the period is $91,186. Monthly savings of $587, and total savings on interest $70,354. These are the kind of real savings, Mr. Speaker, we're giving. And if you take a loan, a student loan of $300,000, monthly payment on 2% will be $2,760. Compared to the 8% you get at commercial banks, you're paying $3,640. The total monthly savings is $879, and the total savings on interest of a student loan of $300,000 over a 10-year repayment period is $105,551. These are the kinds of investments you're making in the people. This is kind of a facilitation, Mr. Speaker. And in no time in our history of our country, Mr. Speaker, we have had that kind of investment in our people. And I'm not even going to talk about the schools, the minister spoke about that, or the college spoke about the schools that we built in the 7 schools. I'm not going to talk about the investment that we've made in education before. I'm not going to talk about the TVET because the minister spoke about TVET. There are a number of very positive things taking place in the education system, Mr. Speaker. In respect to jobs, this budget, on my maths, will create some 4,000 jobs. 4,000 jobs over the next 4 years, Mr. Speaker. 4,000 jobs over the next 4 years. International airport, 450. The cable car, 200. The Port of Marina, 70. Geothermal, 120. Stay over tourism, 250. Cruise tourism, 200. Digital IT services, 300. Retail, 150. Other services, 242. Agriculture, 1,200. Manufacturing, 200. Infrastructure, roads, 200. Infrastructure, housing, 250. Infrastructure, education, 75. Infrastructure, health, 50. The film industry, 300. Over 4,000 jobs over the next 4 years. The other thing I want to speak about, Mr. Speaker, if you allow me, sir, is the fiscal responsibility which I intimated in my introductory comments. Because we remain, and by the way, on the housing stuff, Mr. Speaker, on the housing stuff there, I just want to make a little point, if you allow me. On the housing stuff there, I want to, on the housing stuff, Mr. Speaker, the benefits to the people. And this government policy, that's what you call a concrete pillar. A concrete pillar, Mr. Speaker, with reinforced steel. That's not a pillar made of grass and mud, Mr. Speaker. That's a structural beam and pillar, Mr. Speaker, that can stand fiscal discipline and also spur economic growth, Mr. Speaker. That don't this little vetiver and mud and pillar, Mr. Speaker. No, they're serious pillars, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding all of the challenges we've had with the structural adjustment of the IMF, with all of the natural disasters, the external shocks, the pandemic, we've always tried our best by way of practical policy statements and initiatives to ensure that we create an environment in Dominica that can make living affordable for people. We're not fully here because we have to deal with challenges of importing inflation. But our mission has been, Mr. Speaker, to make more money available, more disposable income available to the people by way of our tax system, our income tax system. And just to give you some statistics, Mr. Speaker, as I said, our GDP in 2000 was 900 million. 2025 is 2,020 million. The total tax revenue of 2000 is 241 million. 2025 is 1.1 billion. Income tax, Mr. Speaker, in 2000 was 64.09 million. In 2025 is 64.55. Total tax revenue, Mr. Speaker, was 182 million in 2000, is 443.9 million in 2025. Income tax to GDP ratio in 2000 was 7%, and in 2025 it is 3%. Means that we are allowing people to keep more of their money, Mr. Speaker. I'll explain the details to that. Income tax to tax revenue ratio in 2000 was 27%. 2025, it is 6%. Total tax revenue to total tax ratio in 2000 was 75%. 2025 is 40%. When we took office in 2000, because I'm saying this because, Mr. Speaker, just to use contemporary history to remind our people. When we came into office in 2000, Dominicans were burdened with an income tax rate of 40%, Mr. Speaker. 40%. And over the years, we have consistently removed the income tax burden on people. So that they keep more of their money to do whatever they wish in it. And I'll give you an example, Mr. Speaker. In 2000, income tax on a monthly salary of $2,500 was $300. In 2025, it is down to zero. There is no income tax on salaries of $2,500 or less. In 2000, income tax on a monthly salary of $3,000 was $450. In 2025, it is down to $75. In 2000, income tax on a monthly salary of $6,000 was $1,450. In 2025, it is down to $708. In 2000, an annual mortgage interest allowance for personal income tax calculations was $12,000, Mr. Speaker. In 2025, it is up to $30,000. We are taking it from $12,000 to $25,000, and 2 years ago we took it to $30,000, Mr. Speaker. So the $18,000 increase in the mortgage interest allowance means that employees with that benefit earning monthly salaries of $6,000, who would have paid $975 per month in income tax in 2000, are only paying today on a $6,000 salary, taking into consideration the mortgage, $150 tax, Mr. Speaker. And if that person has insurance, and if that person has a student loan, it's down to about $30 a month, Mr. Speaker. So on a salary of $6,000, you're paying $30 tax, income tax in Dublin, which means that you're going home with all your money, Mr. Speaker. And someday, you will go with all your money, Mr. Speaker. That's what you're doing. That's what it is. And in 2000, Mr. Speaker, people who had worked all their lives, pensioners, were being taxed. And I was there, Mr. Speaker, I never realized that the pensions were being taxed. So that was brought to my attention in 2008. And I said, well, that's unfair to the people. And in 2008, we came to Parliament and we removed income tax on all pensioners' money, Mr. Speaker. All. There's no pension in Dominica paying income tax in Dominica since 2008, but they paid from 2008 way back, Mr. Speaker. Some of them at 40%, some at 45%, and some at 15 or 20%. Taking a little money from people who work
25 minutes, 25 minutes.
It's okay. At some point, Mr. Speaker. That's what we have been able to do, Mr. Speaker. And so we go to the cost of living issue, and I want to speak about the VAT removal. VAT removal that we added items. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Health messaged me, and he told me that he encountered some ladies and they told him about some additional items to add. And so when we draft the legislation, we'll add them. He told me panty liners, menstrual discs, menstrual cups, and tampons. They said to us, I mean, this sanitary napkin is an old-time thing, Mr. Speaker, so we added the modern stuff, Mr. Speaker. So we adding these things to it, Mr. Speaker. But I see the member of South will tell you, thank you, Minister. So, Mr. Speaker, this is what the Minister for Finance said in respect to these items. And interestingly, Mr. Speaker, when other countries do the same list, oh, see what they do in other countries, what's them doing, what they were doing. We come and do the same list, and these people criticizing us saying, no, healthy food. Yes. But what is wrong with corned beef? I don't eat corned beef, Mr. Speaker, but when I eat corned beef, I used to love corned beef. I've corned beef on white rice, Mr. Speaker, corned beef and macaroni and cheese. I mean, yes, I'm saying. I mean, you take a salad, Mr. Speaker, you squeeze a lime over that, and you put a cucumber in that, Mr. Speaker. You tell me that Dominic is not eating sardine, Mr. Speaker? You mad? I have seen people know they don't take out the silence from the team because nothing. And people want to stretch it and they put out go mayonnaise with that, Mr. Speaker. You telling me about Dominic not eating corned beef and tuna, but they're not healthy? Everything is healthy, Mr. Speaker. But everything must be eaten in moderation. But the same people who are saying, Mr. Speaker, that we should not remove the VAT and import duties on these goods are the same people who chastise us for increasing the excise tax on sugary drinks, Mr. Speaker. The same people who told us that we increase the excise tax on sugary drinks and alcohol and cigarettes. So cigarettes not bad, Mr. Speaker. But corned beef, macaroni and cheese, Weetabix, almond milk, orange juice bad. Don't drink orange juice, maybe it sounds bad, that'll kill you. I have never seen a small group of people who are so upset when something is happening for the people of Dominic. No, Mr. Speaker, mind you, I don't eat any canned food, Mr. Speaker. I don't eat anything I don't do in can or something. But I appreciate that the vast majority of Dominicans consume those goods. Left to me personally, I believe we should maybe ban sugar or put but people, you cannot have sugar in the country. A man need Mr. Speaker, ice cream nice. But you shouldn't eat too much ice cream, but you can tell a man don't eat ice cream after lunch. A nice coconut ice cream from Sean Douglas. So I mean, but you can't tell a man don't eat the cake. You tell a man don't eat a slice of cake, the man getting married, the man gets his birthday. You tell him he can't eat a slice of cake on his birthday because he has sugar in it? No. But you tell him don't eat sugar, don't eat a cake every day. But to tell the country a big post, toothpaste is bad, Mr. Speaker? Toothpaste? This is something else. I mean, cream of wheat? Mr. Speaker, cornmeal, I mean, when I make my cornmeal, I put the cinnamon leaves in it, Mr. Speaker. I put the cinnamon in it. I take a little nutmeg, I put in that. You know what I'm saying? And I boil that. I use my coconut milk, my fresh coconut milk, and I make my cornmeal. Man, they said, you know, like cornmeal, she did cornmeal every day, Mr. Speaker. You understand? Man, some of the raise up eating pancakes on it. I was my cornmeal time was scary, but now she got, I make cornmeal, she want cornmeal too. You tell me black eyed peas? Black eyed peas and rice? You tell me no? To keep VAT on it, and you're telling us, in essence, Mr. Speaker, these elements are telling us to increase the VAT on these items. Because if you're opposed to decreasing it or removing it, then you support increasing it. Logical deduction. And so, Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Health, so for the Minister of Finance, Honorable Dr. McIntyre said, Mr. Speaker, that it is important that we also examine our consumption habits. While government has taken steps to ease the burden, there are additional ways in which we as individuals and households can reduce expenses. The Minister of Finance went on to say, one such measure is the revitalization of backyard gardening, which can provide fresh vegetables and herbs year-round, lower food bills, and promote healthier eating. We also encourage citizens to purchase local produce, which is often more affordable and fresher than imported alternatives. That's what the government said, Mr. Speaker. But the government cannot be indifferent to the concerns of the public. Our original view was to reduce the VAT by 0.5%, but there was a prevailing view that better we increase the basket of goods, and I believe that maybe have been a better decision, Mr. Speaker. And I have seen Astafan, J. Astafan, I will thank them, and I'm sure the others will follow, publishing what will be the new prices, Mr. Speaker. And a housewife knows that when she goes to the supermarket, every dollar she can save, Mr. Speaker, is a dollar in their pocket. Because dollar plus dollar, Mr. Speaker, last time I used some idiom, Mr. Speaker, and it's a scary count. So I have to be careful, Mr. Speaker. Like I say, 1 plus 1 is 11, Mr. Speaker. You understand? So every dollar counts. As a housewife, the average family, when they go to shop, they have their list. They stick to the list. They watch the price. They put something down. It's too expensive. They take an alternative. People are watching their dollar. And if the government can give people relief, everybody should be shouting, hooray, for the people of Dominica. Well done, the government. It's a good start. There may be other things that you can do. Let's make the suggestions. But to criticize and to curse the candle in the dark is not being helpful to the citizens of Dominica. Not helpful, Mr. Speaker. And so this is what we have done, and we continue to do it. In respect to the minimum wage, Mr. Speaker, all of us have a view about minimum wage. We have a view of what it might be. But the law prescribes a process. The law prescribes a process, Mr. Speaker. In chapter 8906, 05, section 6.1 of the Labor Standards Act allows the minister to appoint an advisory board, a committee, Mr. Speaker, to advise him on what should be a minimum wage. And the law goes on to say that there should be equal representation of employees and employers. And the reason why you have this is because the minimum wage is controlled by law. But in the public service and other entities where they are not subjected to this act, the unions and the government rep, or the unions and the owners of the company meet and they negotiate. And so you cannot go and increase the minimum wage without consultation, Mr. Speaker. Because when we believe, because this, when you talk about minimum wage, Mr. Speaker, The last time the minimum wage was increased was in 1989 by the Freedom Party. And in 2008, we increased the minimum wage. And in 2021, we went further and increased it even more, Mr. Speaker. And when the Minister for Labour, Honorable Blackmore, was presenting in the Parliament, we made a commitment to the country that every 3 years we shall review the minimum wage in Dominica. That is why there was supposed to be a review in 2023, but because of COVID, we got distracted, Mr. Speaker. And so, yes, I could say what it is, but we will not be respecting the rule of law. So when the Workers' Party got this recommendation in 1997, it followed the law. All fairness to them, they followed the law. They appointed a committee as per the law, Mr. Speaker. But unfortunately for them and for the workers of Dominica, unfortunately the workers of Dominica, the working people of Dominica, they sat on the report from 1997, 1998, 1999, and the whole of January of 2000. And they did nothing. They did nothing. And so, by October of this year, we expect there to be new minimum wage rates in Dominica. As a matter of fact, Mr. Speaker, the categories were increased by us. There were a number of workers in the 2008 change which were not captured, and that was brought to us by cashiers when we went to the cashing booth, cashing table, cashier's desk. Mr. Prime Minister, we're not on the minimum wage thing. They're paying us the minimum wage. And the minister came back to the cabinet and said, Prime Minister, cabinet, we have to change this. We have to increase those categories. We increase those categories, Mr. Speaker. Blackmore has been a champion of minimum wage in Dominica. And he came back and we changed it and we included a number of categories, cashiers and attendants and hotel workers. And come 2025, October 1, there will be a new minimum wage structure in Dominica. That's what we're doing. We're doing it properly and responsibly, Mr. Speaker. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, Mr. Speaker. And in respect to health, Mr. Speaker, there's no government that has invested more in health care than this government. None. None, Mr. Speaker. At present, at the hospital, Mr. Speaker, the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, we have about 650 employees working at just the hospital, Mr. Speaker. Yes, there are times when you go to the hospital, you may not have gotten the care. We understand that when we take a note of those things. But when you look at the overall care and services at the hospital, we're not doing too badly, Mr. Speaker. But we want to be perfect. Yes, I agree with that. Everybody must get the best care. And so we've responded by proposing a restructuring of the management structure of the hospital, by ensuring that all of the consultants are fully appointed, by changing the wage structure for the consultants and house doctors, ensuring that their wages are competitive in comparison to those in the region, Mr. Speaker. To ensure that the doctors who do not have private practice, that they're given an allowance, that is an inducement allowance, Mr. Speaker, that will be substantial enough to cause them to remain at the service of the public system. We have changed the structure of nursing, Mr. Speaker. We have more nursing positions and more upward mobility for nurses, all in an effort to motivate them, Mr. Speaker. And I want to say to my friends at the laundry and the grounds and the kitchen, you will be part of that improvement, Mr. Speaker. But we have to do better as citizens, in so far as taking care of ourselves. There are some things that will come to the hospital for that they can fetch it at the health centers. You understand what I'm saying? You have to do it. We used to have one ophthalmologist, Mr. Speaker, one eye care specialist at the hospital. One for so many years. And even when that person was going to retirement, people thought that we were in trouble. Today we have 3, Mr. Speaker. 3. And we have 3 orthopedic surgeons, too many for a small country like ours, but we have 3 because we want to ensure that at any given time you have an orthopedic surgeon if you have an accident. We have 3 gynecologists, Mr. Speaker. 3. So we're not unmindful in respect to supply and service, Mr. Speaker. What we're seeking to do is to have the system properly digitalized. Because today we shouldn't have a doctor writing on a piece of paper and sending downstairs. You should go on a computer and see what drug is available. Because when they say there's no drug available, they may not have the specific drug that the doctor wants, but there will be 3 or 4 others that you can use to treat the patient. Because it's like painkillers, paracetamol, ibuprofen, cocodamol. I mean, you're different ones. But if you take any one of them, Mr. Speaker, it will make your headache go away. But if you have it centralized and digitalized, anywhere in the country, a medical practitioner who's supposed to have access to the system can see what we have available. And what we have done, that is to say the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Health, is that we have created an account that monies are deposited into every month to ensure the Ministry of Health has access to money to buy supplies at any given time, Mr. Speaker, to address the issue of supplies and time.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to move that the Prime Minister be given 30 more minutes to complete his presentation.
Seconded, Mr. Speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that the Honorable Prime Minister given an additional 30 minutes. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? The ayes have it. Honorable Prime Minister, you are given an additional 30 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you, Honorable Dr. Henderson. I mean, this is what we're doing, Mr. Speaker. And when we came into government, Mr. Speaker, we didn't have an ICU in Dominica, you know. Remember for Marigot? We didn't have an ICU. And not having an ICU in a hospital is like a vehicle with no engine. And I'm saying to myself, well, what happened to us prior to 2005? And if you go to the hospital today, Mr. Speaker, not only do we have an ICU, a main ICU, there are ICU in the wards. No longer are patients in an open hall like in a military hospital. You go to the hospital and everybody in like a private space, 2 or 3 people. Improving the standards. Improving the standards, Mr. Speaker. But you always have challenges, because one of the issues we have in Dominica is that we're not taking care of ourselves. And sometimes people wait last minute to go to the doctor at the hospital. They know the people go on chat GDP and they try to solve the problem, they text and so. But when McIntyre gets a little hot, Mr. Speaker, he doesn't do it himself. I'm calling McIntyre, even if he's a vet, to stitch him up. I mean, am I lying? Look at Mark. No, he's So we're making progress. So I want to assure Dominicans that this government will never turn a deaf ear to their concerns, Mr. Speaker. Never. I can say to them that the discussion in cabinet, almost every cabinet on these issues, and seeking to ensure that we address the issues as completely. Same with the solid waste issue. We don't go and hide. We take responsibility, Mr. Speaker. People know me. I don't pass on a responsibility. We sit and we discuss the problem in a dispassionate way, and based on advice, based on consultation with the public, we take a decision. This is why we have decided to decentralize the disposal sites to eventually win ourselves off the stock farm facility and have separate facility for tires and for derelict vehicles. This is why we're going to be using local government authorities to assist us in the decentralization or the management of collections, so it will be more timely. We're getting 2 trucks on Friday, it was delayed. Getting another 4 in early October. We're also buying 4 tipper trucks and we'll be deploying them. So a truck will be in Granby, for example, in Mao, Mr. Speaker, will give us a truck to Portsmouth. in La Plain, so that the truck doesn't have to go from Roseau to Granby, come back. The truck is in Granby, so anything you see garbage, they'll pick it up and bring it. Do it everyday stuff. The garbage in Mao market will not be there for 2 days because they'll have a truck. There'll be an arrangement between the Solid Waste Corporation and the local authority there to enhance the management, to enhance the collection. But at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, there's a responsibility on our part. If you come to Vekas, Mr. Speaker, I have a compost heap. If you go to Mount Daniel, I have a compost heap. And if you go to my kitchen, Mr. Speaker, there's a pail. There's a basin. All perishable items must go in that bin. And it is taken to the farm. And if I go home and I see people dumping stuff in the bin garbage thing, I get upset. And this is why you realize in Vekas, in my constituency, I made it clear to people, I don't want to see garbage outside the wall. When we hear the truck, we put it outside. If it's a false alarm, we put it back inside. This idea of people putting garbage outside and waiting for someone to pick it up, no. We have to do better than that. And this indiscriminate dumping of garbage and us taking for garbage from a vehicle and put it on the side of the road, this is not acceptable. It is not acceptable when I drive on Picard, the entrance of the Coconut Beach, that people are dumping garbage right there. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable that we are taking garbage and dumping it from the plastic bag. We have to speak about our individual responsibility to our country. Yes, the government will have to do what they have to do. Yes, we have to improve the management of the solid waste. Yes, we have to put more resources to the solid waste. I accept that. But the way I see things, Mr. Speaker, no matter how much resources you give to solid waste, unless people change their attitude and behavior to the environment, we'll have a problem. So we have to do better than that, Mr. Speaker. We are better than that as a nation, as a people. We pride ourselves on cleanliness, on beauty and beautification, Mr. Speaker. We need to maintain that so that we can explain and to our children, the children can learn from us, Mr. Speaker. They can learn from us, Mr. Speaker. Now we even spoke about the private sector facilitation, Mr. Speaker. The idea of the Roseau. And I did add Portsmouth, member for Portsmouth in this program, where all of these abandoned properties, where people want to acquire them, to invest in Dominica, we will facilitate you by acquiring those properties in the public interest, where families cannot agree, where you do not know who owns it. The state will intervene in Portsmouth, the state will intervene in Roseau and acquire those properties so we can eliminate those abandoned lots, those unsightly buildings in our city and our town, and to create greater economic activity, Mr. Speaker. And there is case law for this all the way to the Privy Council, that the state can acquire any property in the public interest and sell to the private sector. That happened in Antigua, and there's a case law on the Privy Council in this matter. So if you're a family and your property in Roseau or in Portsmouth, and someone is asking you to sell it to them, and brother cannot agree and sister cannot agree, call the government. We'll intervene. Because that's one of the ways we're going to have to address the issue. Yes, the Roseau Enhancement Project will enhance the city and the ambience of the city, the aesthetics of the city, the beauty of the city. But you can have the nicest roads, covered sidewalks, nice street lights, and then you have old building there, abandoned lot there, this there, not going to work. There must be a comprehensive, holistic approach to this. That we need to paint our buildings. I don't think it is fair for people who wait for a power rep to go and paint a building in town. No, or the city, no. We must paint our buildings as homeowners in the city and across Dominica. We must clean in front of our businesses and our homes. Back in the days, Mr. Speaker, every morning people take out the J's and clean in front of their homes, Mr. Speaker, in front of their yard, in front of businesses. Where is that? Why should we expect the government to be doing it for us all of the time? Where's the government getting the monies for this? No, Mr. Speaker, there's something that we have to do better. We have to have a greater sense of pride. This is what makes us different, Mr. Speaker. And so I'm challenging us to get on board in this. And so in respect to Blue Water bottling plant, there's a private investor who wants to invest in this, and the state will move in, compulsory required, and the person will pay the money. So it is not a situation the government buying and give to them, no. The government will acquire and they will pay the precise amount that's been paid by the government. We've done it before to other private sector entities here in Dominica. It's nothing new, Mr. Speaker. And this is what we will be doing. And so, Mr. Speaker, there are a number of positive things happening. I mean, I think to Mr. Speaker, listening to Dominican people, they really did not expect so much. Because the reality is, human beings generally are reasonable creatures. And sometimes we don't give people enough credit for their ability to think and to be critical with their thinking. And people know the world that we're facing with. People know the challenges that the world is going through. And they know what the government can do and cannot do. And for a government to come in 2025 with such ambitious programs and projects and policy initiatives, the people are saying this is something else. And this is why everybody thinks, Mr. Speaker, that election, because they say that only an election time you can get a budget like that. So many goodies, so many things in there that are giving people hope and confidence when they were feeling a bit dejected, that the government has been able to renew their confidence and trust in our country, their country, Mr. Speaker. And that is what we sought to do. But we're doing so, Mr. Speaker, with the understanding, underlying principle of prudence and responsibility. We can't be reckless. We have to be prudent, Mr. Speaker, because the moment we become reckless, we crash everything and everybody will be affected. Let us just reflect on the austerity measures, the IMF program, Mr. Speaker, and how painful it was. Painful it was. Please can recall 2, 3 o'clock in the morning we're still in cabinet. Painful. And there are times I told the IMF people, you guys, when you guys go to Washington, all you're going to watch from the TV is protesting. They go, no, we're not going to those prescriptions. So we have to push back a number of things on them. They say to catch a flight, they say you can change your flight. But no, we're not going. So 2, 3 o'clock we're there because they want to catch a flight next morning. The same morning to go back home. No, we're not agreeing to certain things. We push back on them many times. But the reality is, Mr. Speaker, as has happened in a country in Africa, if you follow bad prescription, Mr. Speaker, prescriptions that tells you to erode your tax base, erode your earning powers as a government, and not addressing the issue of expenditure, this is a fast track. You know when you go to the airport, there's a fast track line? There's a fast track line to the IMF, Mr. Speaker. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not saying so to scare anybody. I'm setting the record straight. I'm setting the facts. And the IMF policies, Mr. Speaker, and the World Bank policies, Mr. Speaker, and that of the CDB, that if you borrow money from the CDB, from the World Bank, from the IMF, and you default, you go straight to the IMF. Automatically. These entities don't restructure loans for you. They don't give you debt forgiveness. When we were restructuring our debt during the period, Mr. Speaker, I had to work with Compton Bond, the then president. And in order for him to give us a better term, they had to find grants, Mr. Speaker, to help us. Grants. They will never restructure loans for you. So this notion, and there's no government, no entity, Senator Roll, who's going to give you money for recurrent expenditure. The World Bank has a facility, so does the CDB, for budget support. But in every one of these institutions, there's an allocation There's a maximum. And so that may help you for 1 month. But what's going to happen to you next month? And the ensuing months? This will be, Mr. Speaker, an economic meltdown and a shared poverty agenda. We have to be responsible. This is not about throwing things at people. We can come here and throw things at people, but we know that if we throw things at people that we can't afford, it is going to affect them down the road. So to sustain the NEP, which is about $5 million a year, we have to be responsible. A month. To continue to help our people build their homes and to continue to help the private sector and to set the infrastructure in, the roads. If you're going to cut, if you're going to reduce on your tax base, if you're going to eliminate taxes, you have to cut. And when you're cutting in the government system, Mr. Speaker, like any other business, you cut things that are inescapable. And you start with policies. So you start 65 over, cut. NEP, out. Educational assistance, end. Housing program, finibat. Funeral grants, no way. Take your family, wrap them in a white cloth, bury them next to Mr. Speaker. Overseas hospital care, we can't afford it. You'll die in Dominica because the facility, your matter requires a higher level of consideration. These are I'm not scared, these are the facts, Mr. Speaker. And then after you deal with all the policies, you look at your wage bill. And don't mind a PSA was appointed and it's a creature of the Constitution or this person saying. The Parliament can limit the number of such positions. And the Parliament can cause any position in the public service to become redundant, except those specified in the Constitution, the Director of Audit, and the Chief Elections Officer, and the likes. But any position that's created by the Public Service Act can be eliminated. And transfers to other non-government entities, to the Catholic Church for school, to Seventh-day Adventists for the school in Portsmouth. We have to call the superintendent of the Seventh-day Church and say, sir, sorry, we only have $5. We had to cut. And it's going to affect students now. And they're learning. So, what we have prescribed there, and what we have been prescribing over the last 25 years, is a government that is aware, a government that is mindful of the country's challenges, the government is aware of the dreams, aspirations, and concerns of the public, and has been responsive in those areas. But a government that also has displayed prudence and responsibility. Prudence and responsibility, that's crucial. And it's no different, Member Solvery, from you as a wife, as the one managing the finances of the home. You have to take a pen and paper. What your husband bringing, what you bring in, what you have to subtract, and say, this is what we have for groceries. This is what you have for lights. This is what we have for water. The moment if your husband doesn't work for a week, you are challenged, don't you? Because you have lost your income for a week. It's going to affect you. You have to start cutting something now. So instead of eating bread and cheese and cheddar cheese, bread and avocado, which is nice. I mean, I used to call it the poor man's butter. But you'll be forced to eat it, not by choice, you'll be forced to eat it. And so we have to be responsible. And I urge the opposition to join us, the opposition in the parliament, to join us in an effort to advance this country's development and to allow for greater prosperity for the people. And I invite anyone who wants to join this party. This party has been a party, a government of inclusion. This country is small. This country needs all the talents available at its disposal, Mr. Speaker. And we are always open to engaging anyone in that effort. People can tell you irrespective of who you are. Look at, Mr. Speaker, you're a prime example. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what we have here, Mr. Speaker, is that at 70, the people of labor joined their brothers and sisters across the nation to applaud the Democratic Labour Party for its stewardship of its country. Our party's foundational leaders, Mr. Speaker, including Isidro Black, Phyllis Shan Alfrey, and the legendary Edward Oliver LeBlanc, and laid the groundwork for political stability and economic progress in challenging times. The bold commitment of Rosie Douglas and the over commitment of Pierre Charles to his country, their vision and dedication, Mr. Speaker, have helped shape the nation's identity and institutions and institutional framework for socio-economic advancement. All in the fruition of their vision, Mr. Speaker. All of these people have worked tirelessly. And any time you speak about any major economic intervention in Dominica, you must have the Dominican Labour Party at the center of it. And in accomplishment of our founding mission, the historical and contemporary contributions of the Dominican Labour Party to Dominica's political, social, and economic development are all living realities for citizens from every walk of life in Dominica. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, the Dominican Labour Party's long tenure is a reward. A reward, Mr. Speaker, a reward for accountable, transparent, and people-centered governance that has guided this party's consistent efforts to promote social justice and economic development, Mr. Speaker. Speak about social justice, you speak about Dominican Labour Party. You speak about major infrastructural interventions, the airport, the Melbourne Airport, the expansion of Melbourne into Douglas Charles, night landing, the construction of international airports. The roads, Mr. Speaker, the schools, the health systems, Mr. Speaker. Dramatic investments in agriculture, dramatic investments in the social safety net for people to ensure that everyone in Dominica can be part of the process of progress. This has been a reward. A reward for being at the forefront of championing workers' rights, education, healthcare, and economic livelihood, which have significantly improved the standard of living for ordinary Dominicans. You go to these communities, and let's take a picture of Dominica, each or any village in Dominica, of 2020. When I went back, of 2020 and now, and you'll see the dramatic changes. Everywhere in Dominica had bad roads, Mr. Speaker. Portsmouth, we should go to Portsmouth, to Zika, to the health center by the Rodneys, Mr. Speaker, and mud, clay. It was difficult for vehicles to drive on. Every road, don't talk about Chance. Chance was another place. All the way down to Fort Blair. In Petit Souffre, we build roads. The furthest point in Petit Souffre, Mr. Speaker, people never thought that we could have built roads down there, Mr. Speaker. We built roads there. Cochrane, major highway, Mr. Speaker, enhancing the quality of life of the people, enhancing the value of their properties. Castle Comfort, a middle-class community, had no access to pipe-borne water as we know it, Mr. Speaker. They had a makeshift system, Girodale, Eggleston, 5 minutes from Roseau. When I found out they had no water, I said, that can't be. It cost us over $8 million to bring water to Girodale and Eggleston, Mr. Speaker. Because governments prior to us felt that there was no economic viability in investing in a water system in Jordan, Legistan. Warner, Desport, Sylvania, Lion Park, Mr. Speaker. And every time we've invested, a naturalist will come and washes away the investment, where we continue to persevere to ensure that every single Dominican had access to water. When I became Prime Minister, I found out, Mr. Speaker, that in Goodwill, Federation Drive, St. Joseph, Mr. Speaker, Portsmouth, there were asbestos pipes. Asbestos pipes. When I became Prime Minister, I went to Marigot with the then MP, Mr. James. And I went to North End to see the water system there. He brought me there. And when I saw the water system, I said, Mr. James, but you're Prime Minister, the police should arrest you. When I saw where the people of Marigot were getting water from, there was a $3.5 million project to replace the pipes in my constituency, in my village of Vickers, to benefit me personally, Mr. Speaker, and others in my constituency. And I called Duasco from Marigot, and I told them, no, let's cancel Vickers and divert the money to Marigot and build an offering water project. When I left Marigot, Mr. James had over $6 million of commitment. I remember Brown Boy watched me and tell me, Scary, but if you build that road, if you ever build that road by me there, I'm voting for you. And up to today, Brown Boy is voting for me. One of my strongest supporters in Marigot. You understand? We built the road right by his home there, because he never believed that any government would ever consider building a road for him there. These are the kinds of investments we've made. Everywhere you see, anywhere in Dominica you see concrete road, Mr. Speaker, Labour Party, this government did it. Anywhere you see concrete road. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, Mr. Speaker. Investments. You remember a time people saying that you don't concrete? You understand what I'm saying? Because of the massive investment that we recognize, to facilitate investment, you need proper infrastructure, roads. And so I'm excited about the future, Mr. Speaker. And so this is a reward. The people are electing us as a reward for unprecedented youth empowerment and elderly care. When we came to government, young people could not get a loan. There's no bank would watch them because they had no collateral. This is why we created, and I want to commend Mr. Roll for his sturdy leadership and the YBT. That we took money from the Treasury and put at the banks to guarantee a loan for a young person, Mr. Speaker. If they don't pay, we pay. When a man guarantees a loan for you, that's a big thing, Mr. Speaker. Because without that guarantee, you cannot get a loan. So if we circumvented the need for any collateral, for there to produce the collateral, the government is the backup. And what kind of confidence you need to show in the young people than something like that? Give them the money to give them the education, and give them the money to go on the start, to start something for themselves. Elderly care, Mr. Speaker, yes, we care. I used to go to homes, people there, the bed not made, the bed not clean, they haven't bathed, they don't comb their hair, their nails long. Now people go to the homes. Give them a pedicure, manicure. Comb their hair, the sheets are clean, the homes are clean, we cook a meal for them. And I have a program, it's a government program, Minister of Finance, so don't write that down. Where we're gonna acquire televisions for the persons under the SUK program and connect internet to the home so they can watch the TV and keep them company. Committed to the senior citizen of Dominica. The allowance that they get, the 65 over allowance, non-pensionable allowance, Mr. Speaker, with reckless prescriptions, these things can go away. Committed to them. This is why I'm taking them from their poor housing condition and putting them into a home. Can you imagine what a home means to somebody who was living under galvanized hut, no water, no light, poor lady inside of her husband, breeze cold, because of the spacing in the board? Just imagine this. And you take this lady and you walk her into a brand new home, warm and comfortable. And not even at their old age as a couple, I won't say that in this one. I mean, they say they wish they could be more children right now because they have a nice house. But they did something. People. And so we have lifted the poor and downtrodden to a better circumstance over the last 25 years. Are we done yet? I don't think so, Mr. Smith. Because there still exists people who need help and who need to be taken care of. And this is our commitment. As we get the resources, we put it at the disposal of the people. A government is not for profit. We're not for profit. We are in the business of providing public goods. That's why whenever we have money, we spend it on the people. By the same token, we have been responsible by saving some. So if a natural disaster were to hit us by chance, we have about $40 million so far at the central bank that we can draw on in 5 minutes, Mr. Speaker, to buy food for people, buy blankets for them in need. And we also have a standby arrangement of $20 million US dollars or 52 million dollars at the World Bank that we would have access to within 24 hours of any natural disaster hitting us. So when I use the idiom 5 plus 5 is 55, my message to us is that it adds up quickly, as small as it is. We have to demonstrate discipline on our part. We can't every time we have a dollar, we spend it on things that we don't need. I'm not here, I don't like talking about this. I don't want anybody to think I'm lecturing them. Everybody must live their life that they want to live. But I believe we owe it as our brother's keeper to draw to their attention that some things that we really could do differently. The same way you draw to the government things you could do differently, I believe the same way the government can say to you, let's join hands. Let's be disciplined. Let's be prudent with the monies that we have. Let's save for a rainy day. Let's save so that when your child is sick, you can buy the basic medication for your children. That something happens. Pay your social security so that if you fall sick, you get something as small as it is. Be responsible. Think of tomorrow. Let us not be foolish virgins. Just because I again want to thank the people of this country for reposing their trust and confidence in this party for so long. Some say too long, but that's a matter for the voters of the country. People who vote. But people recognize that this is the only serious political organization in the country. This is the party that has made promises and delivered to the people. This is that party that has shown empathy. That's a party that you know that if you fall, if something happens to Dominica, you feel comforted that Labour is there. Because all time and time again, when people felt like we were done, we couldn't come back, we stood with the people. And we put our hands to the wheel and worked diligently. For me, Mr. Speaker, I have not done anything since 1998. But working in the vineyard of the party and in the vineyard of the country. Done nothing else. And so I support wholeheartedly this budget. I want to thank everyone, my colleagues in the government, colleagues in the party, colleagues in the parliament. I want to thank the public servants again, the Financial Secretary and PS to my office, and all the people from time to time who give us advice and counsel. We appreciate that. I want to thank my wife, Melissa, and my children, especially the two smaller ones, who are allowing me to be at the service of the people. Being in politics and having small children is the most difficult thing. It's a sacrifice that is extraordinary and cannot be quantified. But they understand, and they allow me to serve the people of Dominic. And so, what this country needs more than ever is unity in purpose. If we criticize, let it be constructive. Let it be for the better. But not to break down our country or destroy our country. Our country has been through too much. For we, as sons and daughters of our country, to deliberately malign our country, to deliberately undermine the efforts of our people. Because it's not, what you're seeing today is not the work of the government alone. It is the collective efforts, the collective contributions of every single Dominican. Whether you're a farmer or the one picking up the waste, everyone plays a part. It's a collective effort. And so if the God has given us a talent and he has given us the ability to get the knowledge and the skills, let's use it constructively. Because when COVID came, we were all scared. When Maria hit, we were all affected. And so the country is at a position poised for great things. And don't be surprised, and that's my prediction, Mr. Speaker, based on the people who come in the country and their inability to get a flight on American Airlines. Don't be surprised if soon you could have 2 flights a day from American Airlines. Because people are coming in. And more people coming in, more consumption, and more opportunities for all of us. And so let us look at the budget that has been presented and all of the years of investment, and let us take advantage of it. Because if we as Dominicans keep engaging ourselves in fighting with each other and spending time on social media instead of promoting our businesses and doing all sorts of nonsense that make no benefit to anybody, we will find that people will come and take what we have, and we will be left with nothing. A word to the wise is sufficient. We have to be reflective of what we want for Dominic, and to open our eyes and take advantage of the opportunities which exist. And we should not wait for when it's too late. I can say to anybody in this country, irrespective of your political affiliation or your religious affiliation, do not ever believe that we're not prepared to engage you if you have an idea, if you have a project, if you want to give us advice, if you give us suggestions. We're prepared to engage you if you want to be constructively engaged in the pursuit of prosperity for our country and greater opportunities for our people. That is what Dominica needs, more than ever now, if we're to grasp the opportunities that the Lord has given to us. That notwithstanding the challenges confronting us as a country and the world, with the war in Ukraine, the geopolitics, the tariffs, the uneasiness in the world, to come to the Parliament with such ambitious projects and programs says a lot. And therefore we should not gamble with it. And this is why, from the government standpoint, I believe that we have to do 2 things from the government standpoint. redouble our efforts on implementation in a more efficient manner. And secondly, we need to share with the public way more than we have been doing as to what we're doing for and on their behalf. Because when I listen to every member of parliament on this government side, and I listen to the extent of their own stewardship, I believe that they're not selling themselves in the manner in which they're selling themselves to the public. That they're doing way more than they themselves are letting themselves know they're doing in difficult times. Being a parrot and being a messenger is not easy task. But many things are happening throughout every government department. What we need to do is to share more with the people so that they can be more aware of what's happening and how they can benefit from what's happening in the country. And so we look forward, going forward, Mr. Speaker, that you will hear more from my colleagues and less from me in the next 12 months. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The final point I want to, Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, just pass me a note too, is the issue of the population of Dominica. I believe that one of the things that we'll be doing very soon is to articulate a more progressive immigration policy for our country. We inherited, every law we inherited from the British is more prevention and not facilitation. And I believe that we have enough land in Dominica for an increased population. And therefore we have to be, in terms of visa regime, I believe that we should look at eliminating all visas to Dominica for all citizens across the world and to facilitate people coming in. Just remove all visas. I don't look to have visas, people impose visas, and so on. You can have an amount of stay, a day stay, or weeks or months or whatever it is, but people have to apply for a visa to come in there and so forth. You have to go. But the other thing I think we need to look at, we have the Palestinians. I believe that we're open to engage the government of Qatar, the government of Saudi Arabia, and the government of UAE with a view to quite possibly allowing the resettlement of a couple hundred of Palestinians into Dominica. If we can get funding from those governments, and of course, we'll be engaging the United States government in that regard as well. If we can get the infrastructure put in, you have very talented people in this country. Top-class doctors, top-class engineers, who we believe can assist us in our efforts towards growing the economy and filling the gaps where we have some skills deficiencies. And so we'll be engaging the public on these issues and to solicit the feedback from the public on these things. And not only limited to this party, we have to be, the world now is progressing, and we have to be more open. And I think the other thing that has to be addressed is the issue of banking. Because for you to have investments, you must have banks. For you to have trade, you must have banks. And we have raised that with the central bank, that the ability to open a bank account in our jurisdiction is almost impossible, even for local people. 10 minutes. Sorry.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to move that the Prime Minister be given an additional 10 minutes. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I second it.
It has been moved and seconded that the Honorable Prime Minister given an additional 10 minutes. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. Honorable PM, you are given an additional 10 minutes.
So we have to, I find that the banks, the commercial banks, they are managing fear and not risk. You know, to me, your concern should be more of the money coming in and ensuring this necessary due diligence and know your clients and so forth, all of these international best practices already. But we cannot grow to the extent that we need to grow if it is almost impossible to bring money into Dominica. Because if the banking system is not prepared to facilitate, you run the risk of people using other means, and that can undermine the fabric of the economy and propel all kinds of illegal activities. We cannot run a banking system the same way we ran it in 1950. This is why I've been a strong advocate for bitcoins and other forms of payments. Why is it that everywhere in the world is using it, except us in the Caribbean? But the reality is, Mr. Speaker, the citizenry are leaving governments and banks behind. Because there are Dominicans who are trading. Everybody have a wallet. And they're trading. And so these things are not captured in the mainstream statistics. But people are buying stuff, people are transacting. And I think that we have to have a conversation on this thing, a progressive conversation. Instead of counting money, counting EC dollars and putting EC dollars there and this, we have to move beyond that. You can't have it, and I don't want people to take this personal, because I know people like to take things personal. We have no conversation in the country. We can't have people come in here with a credit card or a debit card full of money to spend in the country, and you don't have access to money. You tell a person no more than $100. What's 100 US? What's 100 euro? And so you go to the ATM and you can't withdraw the money that you want to withdraw. But you jump on a plane to the United States or to any other country in the world and you can withdraw your money easily, SIM card. So Dominicans can withdraw any amount of money they want overseas when they go to the card, but you can't withdraw enough money. People come in and they want to spend. And they can't spend. So I am not saying that we should free up the system in a loose way, but to me the system needs, so the same way we're going to review our education reform, we should have banking reform. The banks have to move from managing fear to managing risk. And Mr. Speaker, 9 out of 10 investors who come to the country experience untold difficulty in not bringing money in, opening the account, Mr. Speaker. And if you don't have the account, what does that mean? You can't bring in the money. So all our efforts out there to go out there and to solicit investments, Mr. Speaker, are not bearing the kind of fruits that the Dominican people could enjoy because the financial system is not facilitated. And so I am saying so that the boards and management of those entities can place this on the agenda in a dispassionate manner. Because a bank is crucial to the economic viability of any country. We have to do something about that. Otherwise, the 10% growth that we once achieved, and so you can see, member of payables, that we have the capacity to grow the economy to more than 10%. But we need the help. We need the facilitation. You understand? And this is where we have. Otherwise, we'll have an underground economy that will undermine the opportunities of those who are engaging themselves in legitimate, lawful businesses. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to conclude and to close up debate on the 2025-2026 budget. I must confess there isn't much more I can say, but I'll just reiterate the fact that when I came into public office in 2019, it was under the dynamic Dominica. I clearly remember the manifesto, and that is when the people of the country gave the contract to the Dominica Labour Party to implement the program. And we've had all the policies in place. This budget is basically a continuation. And with the policies, but obviously you must have the blueprints. So we do have the NRDS, we do have the CRRP, which we've been sticking to. And this is what guides us. Nothing is by chance. So this is really a continuation of what we've been doing for the people of Dominica, their well-being, their livelihoods, and this budget is no exception. However, this budget takes it to another level in the sense that you get the marriage. I mean, creating opportunities is one, but being prepared is another thing. And what this budget does, it marries the preparedness with the opportunities, which is very unique in any budget. And it does it in a very good way, I must confess, Mr. Speaker. Apart from that, Mr. Speaker, there are two issues we're dealing with in this budget. We're dealing with growth and development on one hand, and we're dealing with resilience and sustainability on the other hand. And obviously, the resilience and sustainability is what's going to drive the growth and development. And it does this in a very, very good way, I must confess. So the budget is really beyond you and I, Mr. Speaker, beyond us here. It's really a transgenerational budget. It deals with the future generations, whether it's in terms of the education reform we spoke about, which will obviously the manifestations and the changes coming, but we'll see results in maybe the next 10 to 15 years in terms of the new generation that will be coming out from primary school into high school, etc. In terms of, and it's just riddled with things of resilience and riddled with things geared at the youth, whether it's in terms of the TVET program and the training at the Goodwill School, whether it's in terms of the 300 acres for young people, whether it's in terms of the fab lab, the fabrication lab at the State College, whether it's in terms of the Small Business Institute at the State College, the curriculum there, whether it's in terms of the opportunity knocks, the OK2HP, that's the housing again. Everything in this budget is all about young people, it's all about the productive sector, it's all about growth and development. So I think Dominicans should be very pleased. They should jump on board, support this budget, take advantage of the opportunities that it provides to them, and so that we can build, grow, and develop this country together. Having said this, Mr. Speaker, in terms of my constituency, they all recognize the importance of this budget, and I must confess, cooperative, loving, understanding people of the Roseau Valley. I really appreciate them as much as they do appreciate me, but I must mention it and say it publicly. Whether we start in all, and they recognize all what this government has been doing, not just for the Roseau Valley, but the country by extension. So we see how busy Loda is. If you were to go to the Roseau Valley now, Mr. Speaker, everyone is occupied. Every single person is occupied. Somebody is not working, it means they don't want to work. But there's opportunities, job opportunities for everyone, investment opportunities for all of them in all the different sectors. So whether it's, the geothermal, the cable car program, our resort at Pont Vidas, all of these creating jobs, and it's training going on while all of this is going, so we're actually building capacity. But even if, and in Loda, obviously we've done with the tourism information assistance at the T2 Gorge, which has made a very big difference with the Minister for Tourism, thank you so very much, and Mr. CTO of the tourism. They have done an excellent job because in the past, people would just come, they would just end up going to the boiling lake. No one is paying fees, so now the tour guides are pretty happy that we have the tourism information assistance that will guide them. They pay their fees, they get a tour guide. It's much better organized. So hats off to the Ministry of Tourism for pulling that move. Then, Mr. Speaker, and all the other programs going on, that's just LODA. But I mean, and the only issue we have in LODA, which we're going to solve, or we started solving, is the land for our playing field. So that's ongoing, and we've made some progress there. So very soon we'll see more work being done with our playing field in LODA. In Trafalgar, Mr. Speaker, we are eagerly waiting the completion of our housing programs. We have 2 housing programs, the MMC ones, and we have the apartments, both of them in Lily Valley, together with our basketball complex, which should be, well, we're doing some extra work there on the basketball court to extend the stands, but all that's just progress going on within the constituency. So, and after we've done the housing with Trafalgar, then obviously the other village will follow. In Mount Prosper, we're looking at getting the electricity up to the higher end of Mount Prosper because the village is expanding and people are building way up. That's the ones we saw. So you have a lot of new houses being built there. And then the intention is to get the electricity up there. I've already spoken to the people. So it's going to be a government and the people who are building doing it together so we can get electricity to the higher parts of Mount Prosper. Wharton Waven, our playing field, we've done this. We've lit the playing field. We've grassed the playing field. Our road by Castro, the bridge was done. That's to alleviate the issues that we have with transportation and the communication. All that has been done, and we're going to continue the one at Castro. And then very soon we'll have a grand opening of our playing field in Wharton Waven, which has solar lights. So it's really so much going on in the whole community there. But Mr. Alt, in Cochrane, we have our farmers group, our women farmers group. In Mount Prosper, our farmers group. This group, I must say, congratulations. I love the work they're doing. As a matter of fact, some of them went for the training in China in terms of agro-processing. So it's really just a lot of progress and development going on within the Rosa Valley. For sports, we have seen it. In housing, we have seen it. In agriculture, we have seen it. And, but very important for us there, Mr. Speaker, is the professional development that is going on. The amount of young people that we've sent back to do, whether it's maths, whether it's English, so they can get the requirements, so they can join the nursing school, they can join the police force, they can join the fire brigade. It's how we build capacities, how we develop people. As a matter of fact, this year we'll be having 2 or 3 more people going to do medicine, to study medicine, because that's what we recognize. And from my experience, Mr. Speaker, every time we uplift these individuals to this professional state, they can stand on their own. It's not just a matter of giving them a fish, you teach them how to fish, and then that is what we've been focusing. Professional development in all the different fields, not just the medical field, not just the police, not just the fire, but just building up people and encouraging people to get educated and go back to school, get your subjects, join the state college, and get qualified. So it's a lot of things going on in the Rosa Valley, Mr. Speaker, and all of these different projects I mentioned, they're just creating all the jobs for the different people. But having said all of this, I must say that there are so many things that we want to get done, but the people understand that you do things bit by bit, incrementally. And that understanding is what gives us the confidence that we're on the right track. You meet people and they're not really angry, they're not annoyed. You say, okay, Doc, we understand, we'll get that maybe later this year, we'll get that next year, but it's the understanding. But that comes from a relationship between the people of the country and the government of the country. For everything we do, we have consultation. So here we are in the budget debate, but you'd have recognized that we had so many different consultations before we came here. That is why this budget is not just a budget of the Dominican Labour Party government, it's a budget of the people, because they are the ones who told us what to put in the budget. And that is very important, and we feel very relaxed and we feel very confident because we are putting in the budget what the people wanted from us. So, Mr. Speaker, having said all of this, I just want to thank the Honorable Prime Minister very deeply for his guidance in presenting this budget. Some of the ideas that we came purely and solely from the Prime Minister, and we're very grateful for that. All my colleagues, Minister of Finance, my FS, everyone that participated in that, and obviously the different public consultations that we had. Last and not least, but all my NEP workers in the Rosa Valley constituency. It is not an easy constituency to manage. We know the rainfall we have there. So they're doing an excellent job, and all the supervisors of the NEP there, so I must give them hats off for these programs there. all the supervisors, that's Mr. Piper, Mr. Richards, Mr. Noel, Matthew, Ms. Myers, Daniel, all of them, they're doing an excellent job. So, Mr. With these few words, I'm very happy that we had a very successful, and I want to thank the opposition for supporting the budget. In spite of all of us here supporting, but you also supported the budget, and we can just wait for us to implement all of these different programs. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
This concludes the debate. The estimate shall now be considered to refer to the Committee of Supply of the whole House. House is in committee. $1,398 on the bill be approved. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill shortly entitled 2025-2026 Appropriation Act 2025 be read a first time and passed.
Well,
Second.
not passed, but would be read the first time.
Just be read the first time.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, be read the first time.
2025-2026 Appropriation Act 2025.
The bill has been read a first time.
Mr. Speaker, I move the second reading of the bill shortly entitled 2025-2026 Appropriation Act 2025.
Seconded, Mr. Speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that the bill shortly entitled 2025-2026 Appropriation Act 2025 be read a second time. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
2025-2026 Appropriation Act 2025.
The bill will now stand committed to a committee of the whole House to be considered clause by clause. And I have to report that the bill shortly entitled 2025-2026 Appropriation Act 2025 passed through the committee stage without amendments. The question is that the report of the committee on the bill be adopted. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill shortly entitled 2025-2026 Appropriation Act 2025 be read a third time and passed.
Seconded, Mr. Speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that the bill shortly entitled 2025-2026 Appropriation Act 2025 be read a third time and passed. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
2025-2026 Appropriation Act 2025.
The bill has been read a third time and passed accordingly.
Authorization of a credit facility. Whereas by virtue of Section 3.1 of the Loans Act, Chapter 6405 of the 2017 revised laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the House of Assembly may, by resolution duly passed, authorize the minister responsible for finance to borrow money from approved sources or guarantee loans to statutory bodies or public corporations for the purpose of financing general development purposes and for other purposes. And whereas in accordance with Section 36(1) of the Finance Administration Act, Chapter 6302 of the 2017 revised laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the power conferred by the Loans Act to borrow money by means of advance from a bank may be exercised by means of a fluctuating overdraft. And whereas for the past 3 consecutive fiscal years, Parliament approved a bank overdraft limit in the amount of $108 million for central government, statutory bodies, and public corporation use. And whereas government was able to manage the overdraft facility in a manner which avoided breaches of the overdraft limit. And whereas for the fiscal year 2025-2026, a sum not exceeding $108,250,000 is required to support the operations of central government, statutory bodies, and public corporation as follows. 103 million overdraft limit and 250,000 credit card limit for central government, and B, the guarantee of overdraft facilities for statutory bodies and public corporations not exceeding 5 million. And whereas the government of Dominica's debt strategy allows for a mix of financing options to include loans, overdraft facilities, and securities grant geared at meeting government's financial needs. And whereas the government of Dominica has historically utilized a combination of overdrafts and treasury bills to supplement general revenues in financing short-term needs, while capital projects continue to be financed through grants, concessional loans, and resources from the Citizen by Investment Program. And whereas the government continues to build fiscal resilience against climatic and macroeconomic shocks to ensure fiscal stability. And whereas the government remains mindful of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union's target for member states to achieve a debt to GDP ratio of 60% by the year 2035. Be it resolved that in accordance with Section 3.1 of the Loans Act, Chapter 6405 of the 2017 revised laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica, this Honorable House authorizes the Minister for Finance to borrow and guarantee by means of a fluctuating overdraft a sum not exceeding 108 million Eastern Caribbean dollars and a credit card facility not exceeding $250,000 from the following financial institutions: National Bank of Dominica, Republic Bank, and any other approved financial institution. And that is to meet the short-term financing needs of central government, statutory bodies, and public corporations for a further period of 1 year, commencing on the first day of July 2025.
Seconded, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, the resolution before this Honorable House seeks approval for the continued use of a fluctuating overdraft facility in the total sum of $108 million and of a credit card facility of $250,000. This authorization is necessary to meet the short-term financing needs of the central government, statutory bodies, and public corporations for the fiscal year 2025-2026. Section 36(1) of the Finance Administration Act, Chapter 6302 of the 2017 Revised Laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica specifies that the Minister for Finance may borrow by means of a fluctuating overdraft to finance government operations. Mr. Speaker, the government of Dominica's debt strategy allows for a mix of financing options, including loans, overdraft facilities, and securities to raise funds and meet the required financing needs. Government borrowing is undertaken within the debt management objective, which is to ensure that the government's financing needs and obligations are met on a timely basis in a way that minimizes costs over the medium to long term with a prudent level of risk. Historically, the government has utilized a combination of overdraft facility and treasury bills to supplement general revenue in financing its short-term needs, while capital projects have been primarily funded through grants, concessional loans, and proceeds from the Citizen by Investment program. Mr. Speaker, these facilities are intended strictly as short-term financing mechanisms. They serve as a critical buffer to ensure adequate liquidity, maintain operational continuity, and enable the government to meet its obligations promptly, particularly in instances of revenue shortfalls or cash flow volatility. For the past 3 fiscal years, this Honorable House has approved the same overdraft ceiling. I am pleased to report that the government has managed this facility for the intended purpose and within the authorized limit. This reflects our administration's continued commitment to sound and prudent fiscal management. Mr. Speaker, the credit card facility is intended for use only when necessary and will support the government in executing direct purchases. It is expected to enhance procurement efficiency, reduce administrative delays, and achieve cost savings through faster transaction processing while increasing access to online purchasing platforms. Mr. Speaker, while Dominica continues to strengthen its fiscal resilience in response to climatic and macroeconomic shocks, it remains essential to retain flexible financing instruments such as the overdraft facility to immediately respond to unanticipated fiscal pressures when they arise. The government remains resolute in its commitment to fiscal prudence, including adherence to the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union's target of a debt-to-GDP ratio of 60% by the year 2035. We continue to manage the nation's resources with diligence, accountability, and judiciousness. Accordingly, this Honorable House is now being asked to approve an overdraft ceiling of the sum of $108 million and a credit card facility not exceeding $250,000, the details of which are included in the resolution presented. I therefore commend this motion to the House for its favorable consideration and approval.
The resolution is now before the House for debate. Yes, Honorable Paul, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the resolution before the House today is a routine exercise. This year, the authorization is being sought for the Minister of Finance to borrow and guarantee by means of a fluctuating overdraft a sum not exceeding the aggregate of $108 million. Mr. Speaker, let me be clear that we all know that an overdraft is not free money. It is borrowing that comes with interest, it comes with some consequences and implications for our financial health. Mr. Speaker, it is well understood also that a government needs an overdraft facility. As a member of the parliamentary opposition, what I ask is for the government to exercise prudence and great responsibility. Mr. Speaker, I support the government's decision to utilize a controlled bank overdraft facility, not out of blind allegiance, no, but out of duty to the nation's immediate needs and long-term stability. I recognize that in extraordinary times, such as the ones that we face today, critical obligations must be met. Mr. Speaker, let me remind this honorable House that even if I sit on this side of the House, there can be unity of purpose. Our economy is not a political playground. It is the foundation of our nation's progress. Mr. Speaker, with this brief intervention, I fully support this resolution. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, we all recognize the necessity and the importance of this overdraft facility. And with these few words, I think we should proceed. It's something we've been doing over the past few years, and we've been managing this facility in a very prudent manner. So with these few words, let us proceed with our overdraft facility, which the government has managed in a very prudent manner over the years. Thank you very much, Mr.
This concludes the debate. I will now put the question. Be it resolved that in accordance with Section 3.1 of the Loans Act, Chapter 6405 of the 2017 revised laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica, this Honorable House authorizes the Minister for Finance to borrow and guarantee by means of a fluctuating overdraft a sum not exceeding 108 million Eastern Caribbean dollars and a credit card facility not exceeding 250,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars from the following financial institutions: National Bank of Dominica, Republic Bank, and any other approved financial institutions to meet the short-term financing needs of central government, statutory bodies, and public corporations for a further period of 1 year, commencing on the first day of July 2025. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. So the resolution is passed. So we just have one small item to focus on, the committees, and I see the leader of the House is coming in. So.
Appointment of committees.
Mr. Speaker, in respect to the Public Accounts Committee, in view of the fact that we do not yet have a leader of the opposition, I would suggest that we put on this committee the two elected opposition members on the committee, and then we put the Honorable Philip Roll and Senator the Honorable Dwayne Ostel Lockhart. Okay.
I second the motion, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded that the following persons serve on the Public Accounts Committee. That's Honorable Jesmer Paul Victor, Honorable Anthony Charles, Honorable Senator Philip Roll, and Senator Ostel Dwayne Lockhart. Dwayne Ostel Lockhart. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. You did, PM, you didn't indicate, well, they'll decide the chair when they meet. Yeah,
Chair.
the chair. But I think normally, based on the contour it is in the standing order, so the automatic is the opposition leader, usually the chair, but or the, yeah,
Requirement.
yeah,
Regular 72, standard order 72.
yeah.
Simply says it's 4 members, and there has been a tradition that the leader of the opposition, which I think is the point that the Honorable Prime Minister was making when he said there isn't a current leader of the opposition because of the circumstance. So I would suggest that the normal in relation to committees is that where there's no express provision, that the committee decide among themselves, appoint a chairman once they meet.
Okay, well, I was thinking that because President was the opposition leader, but we don't have an opposition leader, I would recommend that instead they end up in a debate, that the leader of the House propose a chairman rather than we end up with a hang committee because they can't agree.
That can work, Mr. Speaker, in
Yeah.
terms of that therefore means that there has to be a motion.
Yes,
and the House
yes,
will
I
stop.
think
That's
we should do it, but we'll take the lead from the leader of the House.
So in light of your suggestion, Honorable Speaker, I move that the Honorable Anthony Charles, member for Marigot, be appointed chairman.
Second,
Mr. Speaker.
it has been moved, but I'll say in the absence of the fact that in keeping the precedence that there is no leader of opposition, it has been moved and seconded that the Honorable Anthony Charles be the chair of the Public Accounts Committee. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. Oh, sorry.
The following, Mr. Speaker, in regards to the Privileges Committee, I move that the following members be appointed on that committee. Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker, Chairperson. Honorable Lakia Joseph, Member. Honorable Darren Lloyd, Member. Senator the Honorable Laurie Victor, Member. And Senator the Honorable Delbert Paris, Member.
Second,
Second motion, Mr. Speaker.
in regards to the Privileges Committee, it has been moved that the following persons be on the committee. Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker, the Chairperson. Honorable Lakia Joseph, Member. Honorable Darren Lloyd, Member. Honorable Laurie Victor, Member. And Honorable Delbert Paris, Member. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, in respect to this Standing Orders Committee, I wish to propose the following members be appointed. Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker, Chairperson. Honorable Darren Pinard, Member. Honorable Julian Defoe, Member. Honorable Henderson Reed, Member. Senator the Honorable Henderson Reed, Member. Senator the Honorable Shalika Vidal, Member.
Second.
Second motion, Mr. Speaker.
So in regards to the Standing Orders Committee, the following persons have been nominated to serve. Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker, the Chairperson. Honorable Darren Pinard, Member. Honorable Julian Defoe, Member. Senator Henderson Reed, Member. And Senator Shalika Vidal, Member. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, in respect to the Parliamentary Proceedings Broadcasting Committee, we should propose the following members be considered. Honorable Joseph Isaac, Speaker, as the chairperson. Honorable Dr. Cassandra Williams. Honorable Fenella Wenham Shepherd. And Honorable Jesper Paul.
It has been proposed that the following persons serve on the Parliamentary Broadcasting Committee. Honorable Joseph Isaac, or we didn't get a seconder. Let's second it first. Okay. Okay. Honorable Joseph Isaacs, Chairperson. Honorable Dr. Cassandra Williams, Member. Honorable Fenella Wenham Shepherd, Member. Honorable Jesper Paul, Member. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it.
Honorable Speaker, I move that the House be adjourned Senate night.
Second.
It had been moved and seconded that the House be adjourned. Sign the die. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. House is adjourned. Sign the die.
Mr. Speaker.